Good evening. It is 6:30. I'd like to call this meeting to order and announce that this meeting of the Seguin Independent School District has been duly called, and notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Section 551.043 of the Texas Government Code. Dr. Gutierrez is leading us in the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to E Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
I'm giving my pledges in a second minute. Need to study. All right, first up is item 1C. Is there I'm sorry? Oh, thank you for that one. Oh, just hold on. Okay, please, everyone, I'm going to give you approximately 1 minute for a moment of silence. To use the DC code. All right, thank you. Dr. Gutierrez,
Good evening, Seguin ISD. We are glad that our students are back in school this week and that freezing weather is hopefully behind us. Overall, our campuses fared pretty well considering the duration of temperatures below freezing that we experienced. Our maintenance department did a great job with preventative maintenance as well as working over the weekend to ensure that our campuses were ready for school and staff on Monday. Similarly, our child nutrition department staff served more than 800 grab-and-go meals for our Seguin ISD students on Friday and Saturday. Of this, more than 600 were served on Saturday alone. Our COVID numbers reflect those in the community with an overall downward trend in cases and quarantines. As of Sunday, we have 2 known positive cases and 2 known positive student cases and 1 known positive staff case. However, our schools and departments will continue best practices to keep those numbers low. Our students continue to excel in and out of the classroom. Here are a few examples of our Seguin ISD students doing great things. Ruben Ramos, a 3rd grade dual language student at Rodriguez Elementary, represented Seguin ISD at the Region 20 Spanish Spelling Bee held in San Antonio on February the 4th, the first time that we have participated in that. The Seguin High School powerlifting teams competed in the Texas Strength Systems meet on February 20th in San Antonio. The men's team earned 1st place and women's team finished in 3rd place, with all of our girls achieving new personal records. Student athlete Garrett Stiles, Taylor Springs, and Brandon Knox recently signed letters of intent to pursue athletics at the collegiate level. Seguin ISD theater arts students will perform their one-act play on Tuesday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. in the Performing Arts Center. The community is invited to see the production, The Boys Next Door, for only $7. We're also proud of Shanda Block, our Associate Principal for Seguin High School, for successfully defending her dissertation and earning the Baylor the Doctor of Education in K-12 Educational Leadership. In May, Dr. Block will walk the stage for her accomplishment. Congratulations. We hate to see highly qualified, loyal, and student-focused employees leave us, but we are happy for them when career and personal opportunities are in store. And in this case, in the case of this individual, she will continue her career as a servant leader, as a judge for Guadalupe County Court at Law number 2. But she was our number 1. Kirsten Legore has done and seen a lot since she joined Seguin ISD in 2006. While overseeing the Student Services Support Department, she has led initiatives in school safety for students and staff, character education, social work, attendance, and most recently, Seguin ISD's response to the COVID pandemic. And those are just a few examples. She has been a valuable liaison between the district and the city of Seguin and Guadalupe County, where she has cultivated relationships that will continue to benefit Seguin ISD for many years to come. As a member of my leadership team, Kirsten has always provided valuable, rational, and logical input regardless of the situation at hand. While we will miss her leadership, we will equally miss her presence and ability to carry out her duties each day with a smile on her face, or the smile on her mask. Kirsten, thank you for your dedicated service to the Seguin ISD community, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And with that, I'd like to present you with a plaque.
Good job. No, and I did not wait myself, so that was good on that part. Well, thank you. I'm not really And hi, team of student services. I saw you earlier. Thanks for coming. Well, thank you. It has been a pleasure to work with Seguin ISD with so many really amazing people. And I'm like, oh, no tearing up, no crying. And I appreciate all of the words that you said. I really did need something to hang in my office within the courthouse, so this is beautiful and very, very much appreciated. And as I go into Guadalupe County, which is back to the county, I go with a lot of amazing relationships built within the district, and so it's not like I'm really leaving. I'm just going to a different office, and we will continue all of those relationships between what I now am going to be doing, serving as a judge for the county. So I appreciate all of you and all of your support all of these years as I've grown within the school district. So thank you.
All right, next up on our agenda are board reports. Does anybody have a report they would like to make this evening? I think I can say that all of us are really sad to see go Miss Kirsten Legore as she goes out the door. We'll miss you. All right, then moving on to item 2A, which is recognition item.
The recipient of the Apple Award for February 2021 is an employee who has truly gone above and beyond for her students. She started at Seguin High School 3 years ago, and since day one strives to build meaningful relationships with ESL and bilingual students. Through innovative practices, she has been instrumental in creating and nurturing a successful ESL program. In addition to being a strong advocate for ESL and bilingual students as an educator and parent, she is also a huge supporter of the SISD Mariachi program. Her colleagues describe her as dedicated, hardworking, and loyal to both students and staff. The Seguin High School community is truly blessed to have this deserving winner of the Apple Award, Mrs. Alice Martinez.
Moving on to item 3 on our agenda is audience with the board, where we designated time for audience participation. Beginning of each meeting, we do not have anyone sign up this evening to visit with us, so we're going to move on to item 4. 4A is an update on the 2021-2022 instructional calendar.
Both Mr. Hoffman and myself give an update on the Intersession Calendar. As you all know, we've been working toward this the last several months. The Intersession Calendar is a calendar that creates short breaks during the school year to be able to provide intervention for students in a timely manner. We're accustomed to intervention taking place either after school during tutoring or on Saturdays or in the summer when it is really too late. I think after having the opportunity to visit AJ Breezemeister today, and then I've shared this with a few folks, I saw firsthand the importance of being able to provide intervention to students during the day during their tag block, where every teacher in the school was working, they were working on math skills. And going into Mr. Parrott and Mr. Jackson's classrooms, theater and choir, and they were just as passionate about math as they were their content areas. And that is important to be able to intervene and provide timely, laser-focused intervention to students before it's too late so that we can close the academic gap. And as a result of COVID, the academic gaps have widened, especially for students who are not as engaged and are learning remotely. Seguin ISD has historically struggled academically. 2 years ago, when our campuses didn't make the mark, the 2 middle schools, that's not something that was brand new to Seguin. It's been something that has been a struggle for many years. And we utilize a traditional calendar just like almost every other school district in Texas, and it really hasn't benefited us. And so we've been in conversations with the Teacher Communication Council and then later on the Calendar Committee to talk about ways in which we can incorporate time during the school year to be able to bring in students who need that extra individualized small group one-on-one attention from experienced teachers who have track records for moving kids. And so what you would see on those days who can move kids, working with kids during that time who need it the most, so that we can close the academic gap, so that we can get students graduating on time, so that kids can be successful on STAR. And it's not truly about just STAR. It's about our moral obligation in Seguin ISD to meet the needs of our kids, many of which have challenges. 70% of our kids are from poverty. And in many cases, it's not just poverty, it's extreme poverty. And so one of the things that we've been working on over the last several years is PLC, and utilizing that time to be able to have teachers come together, develop assessments, and then later on go and determine what do you do, how do you respond when kids are not learning. And that's when you provide intervention to students. And that's what I saw today at AJB. And then having the opportunity to see kids in their core content and seeing kids being successful, I know is a direct result of that tag block that these kids have at AJB. So that's the purpose and the reasoning for looking for additional days. Most students in Seguin ISD will not have to attend those days. Most parents who are listening will likely not be sending kids to Intersession. However, if we do attain a grant that we have applied for that would provide additional funding for enrichment opportunities, we would absolutely be able to provide enrichment. But I want to ensure that the focus is on students who need the most support. And so it's not students who are the kids that aren't struggling. And not every teacher would work Intersession. And I think another concern is teachers are going to have more days. So it's teachers who are willing to work with their most at-risk kids for additional pay. And it's not going to be a problem because we have teachers who already do that anyway. Whether it's for extra pay or not, you have your teachers like Tracy Post at Pot Lawn Elementary, who teaches 5th grade math, who I can guarantee is going to be the first one to sign up for an Intersession day, because she wants her students, or even the students in 3rd and 4th grade, to be successful in math. And I can guarantee that she would sign up to go and teach at another campus if she could. So one of the things that I do, and we have made clear, is that this is not a year-round calendar. We're not looking at year-round. We have no intentions or plans to go year-round. We've been simply looking at trying to build in 10 days to be able to work with students during the school year. And we've had the opportunity to get feedback from staff and from the community. We had a thought exchange that went out last fall. We've had conversations with the Teacher Communication Council beginning November 30th on Intersession all the way until this week. We've held 2 virtual town hall meetings where we shared information and solicited feedback and gave the community an opportunity to ask questions. We've posted those town halls to give the community an additional opportunity to ask questions, whether it's via email or through social media. As a result of the town hall meetings, the district has received emails from 5 parents sharing their thoughts and ideas, and those emails have been shared with the calendar committee. The calendar committee came together with the TCC and met virtually on February the 8th and this week on February the 22nd. In addition to that, we held a thought exchange for the calendar committee, and we held a thought exchange where we had an opportunity to allow staff the opportunity, to share their thoughts. We had 397 total participants who either shared a thought or rated a thought, and we had 253 thoughts that were provided, and an overall total of nearly 7,000 ratings. So there was a significant amount of feedback that was provided. Prior to the thought exchange, we were evaluating the merits of the calendar with 5 Intersession days built in. After the thought exchange, the district started exploring a different option and looking at 6 Intersession days. This could be 2 3-day intersessions, one in the fall and one in the spring, or 3 2-day intersessions. And that was based on the feedback that we were receiving from staff. Of the 253 thoughts, I believe about 50% of those thoughts came from teachers. The remaining were from administrators and from other staff. What we feel is important, what we feel that the staff wants is they want to see the effectiveness prior to going all in to a full intersession calendar, which I believe is appropriate. Ensure that we're building teacher capacity so that they can be effective in moving kids. Ensure that we're providing quality support to teachers so that they can be laser focused on the kids that they're going to be working with, similar to what AJ Breezemeister is doing with their tag groups. And so what we presented to the TCC calendar committee this week was just a draft calendar that showed those additional days built in that would have a minimal impact on the school calendar, and it would still very much so look like a traditional calendar. We would look at school starting approximately August 16th and school ending approximately June the 3rd. We feel very strongly, and you'll hear from the elementary update today from Miss Hadamil, where she'll share elementary progress. I think it'll help you understand the why and the need to be able to have this time with the students who need the support the most. And if you think about, not only did we lose the spring with kids, because I think we can all admit, and not just Seguin, that we didn't have the most robust remote learning plan for kids. Just like every other district, we were not prepared to go completely remote overnight. But we have a solid remote learning plan now, and if you have the opportunity, some of you have, to see those lessons, you can see that they're quality, and our teachers have received quality professional learning. But there's still a level of engagement in the virtual world that doesn't quite match up to that face-to-face engagement. So we're dealing with the lack of engagement in the spring, the minimal or low engagement right now, the in and out of school for quarantine and kids being face-to-face and then being out on quarantine for 10 days or longer, or being tested positive for COVID. And then you have the winter storm that occurred where we lost an additional week of instruction. How else are we going to close the academic gaps? We have to have an opportunity to do that. And you have to have an opportunity not only to reteach, but with some students, you've got to lay those foundational skills that they've missed in the past, or that they missed because of COVID, or summer slide, and give our teachers who are so passionate about seeing their students be successful that opportunity to work with kids. What's the other great thing about it is that teachers get these sporadic breaks throughout the school year that they're not accustomed to getting. And so a teacher doesn't necessarily have to work or teach every intersession. They can do one in the fall and one in the spring. I can guarantee that there are some teachers that are going to want to do them all. But it gives kids additional time during the year. It gives teachers additional time during the year, while we also have that opportunity to work with kids to fill those academic gaps. And I think when you'll see glimmers of hope, especially in light of COVID, when you see the elementary data, and to have this opportunity to do more, I think will be a significant win for our students. So right now, we're not looking at that full 2-week time period that would carve into the summer by 2 weeks. You're looking at several days throughout the school year. And as you heard, that start date and end date would have a minimal impact on the calendar. We have to find a way to be able to work with students in a timely way and not wait until the end of the school year and after STAR when it's too late. And so next year gives us an opportunity to do this right and show the community the power in an intersession calendar, and then reevaluate it at the end of the year and determine, are we going to continue with the 6 days or 4 days, whatever it is ultimately, Or do we need to, because we've seen huge success, do we just need to move towards that 10-day intercession calendar? So that's where we are right now. I really do value the hundreds of thoughts that came from staff. It really helped us come together last week as the superintendent's leadership team and really think about how we could take that feedback and better support our teachers, while at the same time thinking about who we are here for, and that's our students. And how can we better support our students, especially those who have fallen a little behind. And so we have taken a step back. We felt like we were moving forward towards that direction with that full intercession calendar based on the feedback from TCC, based on the minimal feedback that we received during the town halls and on social media. We felt like we were moving in the right direction. After we received the thoughts from teachers, I think we need to really look at their feedback and think about where they're coming from, especially with all of the demands that COVID has brought, and consider easing into a intercession calendar and looking at the end of next year and determining if we're going to continue, or are we going to look at adding those additional days. So Sean, I know I just kind of went on and went off script a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that I really provided a good picture of where we are and the why to the individuals in the audience, but the people who are going to watch this, and especially to our board as well. And our board has had an opportunity to hear about it and participate in the town halls and listen to feedback out there in the community and read the thoughts as you've logged on to the thought exchange. So that's where we are right now. We're going to come together again on March the 8th, and we're going to present the calendar committee and TCC with several different calendar options that have those days throughout the school year. And then the calendar committee is going to make a determination as to which direction they want to go with those calendars. Then TCC will, as they always do every year, they get into the weeds. Where is this day going to go? Where's this holiday going to go? Where's this half day going to go? And then they'll come up with 2 or so calendars to get feedback on from the staff and the community, and then we'll come to the board for approval, and we're hoping that we can do that by the end of March. Mr. Hoffman, is there anything that...
No, sir, I don't have any more to add.
So the PDF, the update, that's not any samples of calendars?
It's not.
Okay.
We are working on draft calendars to present to the calendar committee on March the 8th.
Okay.
And the board is welcome to pop in if they'd like to.
And what time is that?
4:30.
4:30? Here at central office?
It's virtual.
It's virtual.
We will send a calendar invite out to trustees. That is going to be on March 8th at 4:30. That virtual meeting will consist of the members of the calendar committee, our TCC representatives from the campus, as well as our campus principals. They have been invited to attend that meeting as well.
Are there any questions from any of the trustees? Ms. Crittenton?
I wanted to see if we could get, we got to see the thought exchange up to a point. I wanted to see if we could see the rest of it and anything else that came in, just so we could have a sense of what came up.
Absolutely.
Any questions over here? Mr. Jenkins?
I just have a question on teacher satisfaction. Based on this, do you think it'll affect their satisfaction scores over the next year or two, having extra days and so forth?
We think that having that extra time throughout the school year, teaching is an extremely stressful job, and it has changed this year. It has always been a demanding job, but is more demanding than it has ever been, and I'm not sure when we're going to have normal again. I think if anything, as we're still navigating through COVID next year, to be able to give teachers that time, I think could be a huge benefit and something that sets us apart from our neighboring districts and gives teachers the opportunity to plan things and do things with their families that they otherwise could not do in October or February.
Just out of curiosity, if a district is on a year-round calendar, how many extra days is added to the educational, to student teaching days? Or is that not, do we have any districts in Texas that are year-round?
There are examples out there. I know one of the districts in El Paso has a year-round calendar, and yes, you look at that, and they're starting at the end of July and going into June. So it is, but again, they have breaks throughout the school year. So these kiddos are not going from, going 10 and a half months straight.
Right, and I
nonstop.
think that's something, that they still have the same educational days that the regular school district would have. They
Correct.
just have like week breaks
Yes, ma'am.
throughout.
I know for some families, they might have multiple children, and some of their children might need to go to school for the extra days, and some may not. And they might work shift work or something and not be able to take off, for the one child and not the other. Is there a possibility, I don't know, that something can happen, I don't know, the JAM program or something like that, that we can provide an opportunity for other children if that were to happen in a family?
We're looking at expanding our partnership with JAM, and we're hopeful that we can secure the grant that Mr. Silvius has applied for that helps. But one of the conversations we've had is we're already bringing these kids in for an extended school day, and they've got siblings. We bring in these kids on Saturdays, and they've got siblings and families who work, and we've been able to have high attendance. It's very rare that when the high school needs kids on a Saturday that they have there's an unwillingness. We've been working through those issues the last several years, and we've made it work. I feel very confident that if we have 2 days in October or 3, that families will make it work and ensure that their students who need that support will be there. And we, as always, we've got, for example, Kirsten Lagore's team. We provide support to families who need it, and schools, student support services get very creative in helping these families with unique and extenuating circumstances.
Thank you. That was a question that came up, and I appreciate the answer.
Absolutely.
Mr. Yeah.
John, so that school that you mentioned from El Paso, have they noticed, how long has it been going on, first of all, and have they seen a significant positive sign?
I don't know how long they've been operational as a year-round school, but I'm guessing that
90s,
that
like
long.
going back for decades. A couple of, I think there are several school districts in El Paso that do it, and if you look at their accountability, they performed very well as a school district and serve high poverty, obviously high minority, and they've seen huge success with it, but they've been doing it for 20, 30 years.
And they do offer the extra help during the time that they're off, for the students that want it.
Right.
But
Isleta, Socorro, Mr. Lewis, am I accurate?
Okay, so I just wanted to kind of round this out by saying we were originally looking at 10 days, and now we're looking at 6, either 3 2 days or 2 3 days.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. That came during our discussions on Monday with TCC and with the calendar committee. After reviewing the thought exchanges, and when we originally had the idea for the 10 days, and right now we're looking at 6.
Okay. Well, I know it's going to be an ambitious month to get all those committees in and get something drafted up, but I do hope we can see something by March.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez. All right, so next up is item 4D, which is a proclamation of Career and Technical Education, or CTE month. Mr. Booth, nice to see you.
Nice to be here.
Ms. Thomas Jimenez, Dr. Gutierrez, members of the board. Thank you. I come to you today really in celebration. The month of February has been designated by the Association for Career and Technical Education as National CTE Month. And I really want to take this opportunity to celebrate our teachers. If you follow us on Twitter, and I know Ms. Moreno, I've seen several of the tweets that you've liked, I've really been trying to highlight our teachers and not only who they are, but why they teach. And we've seen some really excellent comments from our teachers. And so for this month, there is a proclamation that Ms. Thomas Jimenez is going to read. But I also just want to say thank you so much for your support and the administration's support of the CTE programs here at Seguin ISD. We are making things even better than they've been in the past.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so I have a proclamation, it's also on the screen. Whereas February 1 through 28th, 2021 has been designated Career and Technical Education Month by the Association for Career and Technical Education, and whereas Career and Technical Education offers students the opportunity to gain the academic, technical, and employability skills necessary for true career readiness. Whereas students in career and technical education programs participate in authentic, meaningful experiences that improve the quality of their education and increase their engagement, achievement. And whereas career and technical education provides students with career exploration opportunities earlier in their educational experience, which enables them to make informed and beneficial decisions about their academic coursework and pursue established programs of study and career pathways. And whereas leaders from business and industry nationwide report increasing challenges related to addressing the skills gap and connecting qualified professionals with available careers in critical and growing CTE-related fields, including healthcare, energy, advanced manufacturing, cybersecurity, and information technology. And whereas career and technical education prepares students for these and other fulfilling careers by offering integrated programs of study that link secondary and post-secondary education and lead to the attainment of industry-recognized credentials. And whereas career and technical education programs ensure that employers have access to a qualified and thriving workforce, ensuring America is a strong and competitive economy. Now, therefore, I, Cindy Thomas Jimenez, of Seguin ISD, do hereby proclaim February 1 through 28th, 2021 as Career and Technical Education Month in Seguin ISD, and urge all citizens to become familiar with the services and benefits offered by the career and technical education programs in this community, and to support and participate in these programs to enhance their individual skills and productivity. Is there a seal somewhere? There's a seal I'm supposed to be swearing to. So in testimony whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed on the great seal of the Seguin ISD of Seguin, Texas, this 25th day of February 2021. All right, thank you. And we have come a long way, Mr. Booth. Any comments from any of the trustees about CTE? All right, moving on. Item 4B is an information item. So we hear an update on strategic priority and initiative report on elementary ISIP and curriculum update. Ms. Sotomillo and Mr. Cantu.
All right, good evening, President Thomas Jimenez, members of the board, and Dr. Gutierrez. What I'll share with you all in a few minutes here, and then I'm going to invite Ms. Jaramillo to co-present, is this year's update on our strategic initiatives. So we will start the conversation with ISIP data, which comes from our iStation reading results, which is a monthly progress check that we have for reading for students kinder through 8th grade. We will focus on the elementary grades this month, and then we'll shift our focus next month to secondary. And then we'll talk about how we guarantee a viable curriculum for all students. So as you all know, we started this work when we outlined the strategic plan and then created our three strategic initiatives, which is to improve student learning through improved instructional practices, to engage our parents, our industry and our community partners, and then to create the conditions to recruit and retain and engage our best employees. And then we created these strategic initiatives, right? So we said, how are we going to get there? What are we going to measure? What are the things that we're going to do to make sure that we're on track to providing the best education for our students? So today we will talk about how we're going to increase kinder through 3rd grade literacy proficiency. And we've been talking about this for a couple of years now. We want our current 1st grade cohort, they were kindergarten cohort last year, and we said when that cohort gets to 3rd grade, we want to be at 100% reading proficiency as measured on ISIP. We're going to implement PLCs district-wide. We're going to utilize our rigor and relevance framework district-wide. And then the other thing that we're going to talk about today is how we have developed and guaranteed a viable curriculum for all students. So now I'm going to ask Ms. Jaramillo to talk to us about these initiatives. And again, today we'll focus on elementary, and next month we'll focus on our secondary students.
Hello. Yes, thank you so much for inviting me to come and discuss our beautiful data. So here is our October 2019 data from ISIP. As you know, we're measuring reading on grade level by the green, how many of our students are in the green on our data chart. This also encompasses data for students who are face-to-face and remote. As much as possible, we try to have our remote students take the ISIP and in a testing environment as much as possible, but they are still taking it from home. So here is our October 2020 data, and then here's our February 2021 data. As you can see, not a lot of drastic changes when you look at it from the district level. However, when you start digging deeper and looking at specific campuses, we are seeing changes. For example, in kindergarten, Pot Lawn Elementary started with 38% of students reading on grade level in October and are now at 50% students reading on grade level. That's a large gain. Pot Lawn, again, in Spanish, 34% of kids reading on grade level, 49% right now. Again, that's huge. Our current kindergarten students are at 43% reading on grade level. Last year, our kinder students, at this time in February, we had 38% reading on grade level. So we are making gains. They are slow, but we are still pushing forward. We are consistently tracking our data across the board. At each and every campus, you will walk in and see data walls up. You will see students with their charts, and they know how much they're growing. Teachers talking about data during the PLC. However, we know by the end of the year we're wanting 74% of our kids this year reading on grade level. I can tell you that we have campuses that are going to make that this year. In fifth grade, Weinert currently has 66% of their students reading on grade level. Kennedy currently has 60% of their students reading on grade level. They will make the 74% if they continue to push forward. Vogel, 4th grade, 62% reading on grade level. They will make it to the 74%. In 3rd grade, Vogel, 58%, and Rodriguez, 56%. They will most likely make it if they continue their trajectory. We are going to continue to push. We're going to continue to monitor. But again, having students come in and out, take the test from home, and then come back and take the test at school, we see drastic changes, 20-point difference. We were really excited. Oh, this kid is is doing amazing, and then they come back face to face, and their score drops tremendously. And so we're also monitoring all of that to see how that works. This slide I wanted to add in here because it shows how we're progressing in each of our different levels. So you can see, and I don't know if this has a, it's fine. But you can see in kindergarten, look at our tier 3 students, which would be the students in the red. Look at their growth. You see it moving upward, and that's what we're wanting. We're wanting to see the lines moving upwards to get students out of the red and more in the yellow and then in the green. So I wanted to show you this because, yes, we do see some flat lines. Our level 5 students, who are our highest level students, we see those flat lines there. That does not mean they aren't growing. They are growing. Each month, the target gets harder, right? Each month, we're pushing it. It's a stair step. So they are still growing, but they're not growing at a faster rate that we want them to, which is why we are really focused and intentional on our Gifted and Talented program. And Leslie Mahaffey is here today, back there, and we're really working on how to revamp that and push our students just a little bit more. Okay.
Which is important because when you think going to the STAR assessment, one of the areas that we struggled in is getting students to the master's level. And so focusing on this data and looking at growing those students too, not just the tier 3 students in the red, but growing all students. When you focus on all students, that's how you move a campus to become a high-performing campus.
Here you can see our Spanish data from October 2020 and then to February 2021. The interesting thing about our Spanish data is that this does include our two-way cohort. And so the second grade group right there has been taking both assessments, the Spanish and the English. And so you can see their scores are included within this as well. And also in the English scores, the Spanish students have been taking that as well. Our Spanish, we are really proud of our the levels of green that we have going on there. We're making tremendous gains compared to where we were a few years ago. We are seeing students who are becoming biliterate, and I really wish you could come into classrooms to hear them and to see them reading with each other. We're having students who are reading in their first language, and it is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen because their eyes are just like, oh my God, I did that. So we're really proud of that, and again, continue to work though to grow all of our students. So what are we doing to still get to the 74%? Because we know that is our goal this year. Although teachers try to ask me, can you please go to the board and have them go down to 62% again because of COVID? And I'm like, we're always pushing forward, right? We're always going to try and grow and be the best that we can be. We are very strategic about our PLCs. What are we doing during PLCs? What are we talking about? What data are we looking at? So you can see a group there was actually, at Rodriguez, was actually getting all of their students on little clips and going up and adding them to the board of where they grew and where they didn't. And the teachers actually made one of these in their classrooms so their students could see how much they're growing. We're not talking to students about, oh, you're in the red, you're in the yellow, you're in the green. We're talking to students about, wow, you grew 6 points this month. That's amazing. Because even 1 point of growth is outstanding. And so we want to promote that. That middle picture is our House Bill 3 reading academies. So this state has asked us to train every kinder through 3rd grade teacher, principal, anyone who works with students in grades kinder through 3rd grade, with a 10-day reading academy, and we must be finished by 2023, correct? And so they have not stopped that requirement. So we have to train all of our teachers by 2023.
So during COVID, when
Yes.
we already have a shortage of subs, we're having to dedicate that number of days to get teachers trained for the reading academies, which is And it's a mandate that came about from HB3 and is, I consider, unfunded mandate for the most part. And so it's great, it's amazing professional learning, and Leslie has done an amazing job with this, but it creates another challenge during COVID when you're pulling teachers for that many more days. And that's what the public doesn't know. I mean, there are so many challenges that come with that. So when we're talking about teachers out on quarantine, teachers out for professional learning for reading academies, those are days without their instructor. But it's another way in which we are building capacity for teachers to help us get all students on level.
Yes. And yes, we are very blessed to have Leslie Mahaffey, who spent a lot of her COVID time last year while at home working with TEA to get certified and to get trained. There are only so many, and I'm not sure if you know the exact number, but so many cohort leaders in the state. It was a very rigorous program. She had to submit lesson plans, video herself teaching, but it is also wonderful for our teachers to have the coach here in our district, so we're not having to send them out to Region 20, which is what we would have had to do. And so they are meeting here monthly, I would say, but they must complete 10 days within the school year, and working specifically on those foundational skills. So how are we going to continue to move our students? So now we go into our curriculum, and this is something that I am extremely proud of. Each of our academic deans who were called campus instructional specialists and who before that were called instructional coaches, I have really taken them, and we have just built capacity, built capacity, built capacity. I meet with them every other week for about 3 to 4 hours, and we dig into curriculum. We look at it, we wonder about it, we play with it, and then we adjust it for our students here in Seguin. And so what you'll see, we have transformed our elementary curriculum. We still rely a lot on our TEACS resource system, but then we've also adjusted all of our documents to fit Seguin ISD. So what we do is we provide monthly district-wide PLCs. So at the last week of the month, you'll see every kinder teacher on Monday on a Google Meet with Leslie. She's our kinder person. And they are working on curriculum. They're talking about what are we teaching this month, what's happening in science, what's happening in reading. And they are digging in deep to those standards so teachers know what they're doing next month. Why is this important? Because every teacher in Seguin ISD is going through this. That means every student is getting the same level of rigor at every campus. That's amazing.
And it has taken 4 years to get to this point. It has been a tremendous work in progress, and as Ms. Jaramillo goes through, you're going to see evidence of all of that work.
And so you'll see our monthly s'mores, and I think Dr. Gutierrez has shared one with you all, or Mr. Cantu may have. But that's a live link that will go to our district s'mores. So another thing I have tasked my academic deans to do is, yes, we're meeting district-wide once a month, but that's not enough, right? So they make monthly s'mores for the teachers to then put it in writing. So I said it, we talked about it, now it's in writing in case you forgot. So they can go back and they can look at it again, or right as they're about to teach something, they can go back in and look at it. Those s'mores are really helping us put everything down in writing and get strategies out quickly to teachers. And so we provide those once a month at the very beginning of the month. That middle picture is one of our district-wide PLCs where those 3 teachers are from different campuses. On the piece of white paper, they have a question that's coming up on the Unit 4 assessment. And what they did here was each campus went around and they wrote the strategy that they use, that they teach the students, how to answer that question. And why is this so good? Because our students move. They move from one campus to the next to the next. So if I learned how to tackle graphs your way, but then tomorrow I'm going to go over here and my teacher is going to teach me a completely different way, That's hard for our kids. That's hard for any kid. And so they're talking it through, figuring out which strategy is the best, and then they're moving forward, and that's how they'll talk to the kids about whatever problem was on that piece of paper. After they're done with that, the academic team will take pictures of all of those. They upload them into their Google Drive. We have a Padlet that houses all of our elementary curriculum. Anytime anything new happens, we drop it in the Padlet so teachers have it. The other thing on here is called a no-show chart. It's basically about the same as what the teachers are doing there. But what they do is they pull a standard and then they break it down. They break it down by what were my prerequisite skills, what did I need to know. So that specific one is 3.6G, and then it goes down into the standard from second grade. What did the kids know in second grade? Because I don't need to reteach what they learned in second grade, right? I can move to where they are in third grade, but I can remind them of what they did in second grade. And I've been a third grade teacher forever, so I don't know what they taught in second grade. Well, now you do, because we have these documents available. Okay? Now we're going into our professional learning, digging into how we're teaching. What are we doing? And so we've got additional PL support available by district specialist and coordinator, and I did introduce her. Miss Monica Franco is back there. She is our elementary district specialist. She primarily works with grades 3rd through 5th and has done phenomenal work. GT and dyslexia support during each district-wide PLC. We invite our GT facilitators and our dyslexia teachers to every PLC. Ms. Mahaffey has given them specific grade levels they're supposed to work with. So when we're having district PLCs and we're talking about standards, the GT teacher can say, here's how you can dig deeper with it. This is what you can do to raise the rigor. So we have those people there and we're utilizing each and every person. Bi-weekly academic dean meetings to continue to build their toolbox. That's what I spoke to you about earlier. Beginning of the school year, we read this distant learning playbook to really dig into remote learning and how are we supposed to be coaching our remote teachers. And now we're about to start our next book study. Weekly PLCs for our virtual teachers. Steve Gonzalez and Mr. Juan have really helped our virtual teachers, but they meet every single week for an hour and have very targeted and specific PLCs. In addition to the grade level PLCs that are district-wide, in addition to the s'mores that we're providing, in addition to the one-on-one support that we're giving our teachers. We also have job-embedded PL opportunities. This picture in the corner, you can see a student is writing. That's actually a kinder writing random PLC, and I say it's random because Leslie was talking with the kinder teacher. They were confused. She said, you know what, we're going to have a PLC tomorrow, invited the entire kinder team across the district. They all hopped on the call to learn because they all were having similar issues. Why is that important? Because it's right on time professional learning, exactly what our teachers need and when they need it. The picture at the top corner, you can see a teacher. This is at a campus PLC. The teacher is leading the conversation. This is how you teach the standard. This is what this looks like, and they're coaching each other. Then you get down into our documents. We have a lot of stuff, so. Then you get down into our documents. We had COVID, so we have to have COVID response. We have to figure out what did students miss. Elementary is foundational for everything. We're talking about students who missed half of kinder, half of first, half of second grade. Those are vital years. And so you'll see on the left side, those are our, that's our math pacing guide. So what we did, pulled everything off of Teak's resource system, laid it all out, and created a one-stop shop for our teachers. This is your standard. Here are your resources. Here are your prereq skills. You must teach this first. They may not have learned it last year because of COVID. And then you've got your essential standards, your Teaks, and then your COVID response. Okay, here's an idea of how students would have learned that in first grade. But we were out on COVID, so they may not have learned it. So you may have to teach it. All of that is laid out for teachers very specifically. We have our spiraled essential standards in math. This is a 2-year work in progress. We are really digging into exactly what does the Seguin ISD student need to know to be successful for next year, to be successful for the following year. And so we're creating stair steps for our kids. So that way our students are able to make those small gains. So next year they can climb that ladder and make another small gain, climb that ladder and make another small gain. We also have very targeted tier 2 and 3 literacy intervention. This is something that I'm really excited about to watch our students grow. We have utilized our print shop, and every kinder, first and second grade student, we're making decodable readers for them. So they may not all need them, but they're each going to get a whole bunch of decodable readers to take home. So they'll have books at home as well. And the teachers are teaching very specific literacy intervention and getting the book, holding it with the kids. Everybody is learning it. If you don't need it, awesome, your book can go in your bag. I'm going to still pull these 4 kids. You're going to go over here and do this word study activity. We have given them very specific laid out intervention plans, and that is for grades K through 2 because that's our foundation. Then we have more docs. We like to make things, I guess. This is our math, what our math has kind of transformed into. So here you saw our pacing guide. That's a 1-page document, so sometimes the font's really small. This is their weekly lesson plan. So now the teachers are going in and we're creating district-wide lesson plans during our district-wide PLCs. And then our academic deans are going back in there and they're plugging in. You can see the vertical alignment there, the second grade standards that the kids may have missed for third grade. And then you can see what else they plugged in was what is this TEAC and how is it taught? Look at this leap forward document that might help you. How is this standard tested? Click here and you'll figure that out. So we're looking at that tier 1 instruction at the district level. When they go back to their campus level, like what are they planning? They're going back to their campus. They don't have anything else to plan. They have a lot to plan. They have to plan for their specific classroom. So now I'm planning for a Rodriguez Elementary student in 3rd grade in Ms. Jaramillo's class, right? That's going to look different because the way I teach is not the same way that someone else teaches. So now they're adding their own spin on it when they go back to their campus. But they have all of this to help scaffold that for them. Questions?
I'm excited.
I mean, that's really good because they can build on that each year, and it's not like reinventing the wheel each time. I think that's fantastic.
And the fact that it's consistent throughout our district, because there's so much mobility in our district. But I was real curious, because of my eyesight, I couldn't read the small font, so I zoomed in, and I went, oh my God, those are 2nd and 3rd grade teaks?
Oh, yes.
I thought those were high school.
Lots of stuff has moved down. But yes.
But very impressive. I know it's a lot of work, but the ones that are gonna benefit the best from all of this is our youth.
Yes.
That's true, and we've been working towards this for a very long time, so it's really nice to see it come to fruition.
And then we stayed on it. And
Yeah.
that's really-
Curriculum's kind of fun
Even
for
if
me.
the teachers change,
Mhm.
I mean, you could easily move those around within your documents.
Yeah, that's our plan, hopefully. Is if something does change, then we just have to cut and paste it somewhere else. We also do have our math screener data. However, I got it last night around 9 o'clock. So I'm going to be sending that out to you all in an email so you can see where we are with math. We also, just like iStation, we have a program called Imagine Math, and we do the same, kind of the same system where we're tracking them, their growth throughout the year. It's not as pretty as iStation yet because our focus had been iStation, but this year we're starting to add the math. and that is pre-K through 5 that we have the data for.
It sounds like a number of the campuses are doing very well and they're on target, so we've got to zero in on those campuses that are struggling.
For sure, yes. Yes.
Any other comments or questions?
Like, express our appreciation to your staff, especially here at central office, but also to the teachers that are
Yeah.
in the.
Teachers have played a huge role in all of this, and we're very thankful for their dedication and commitment to working as a district-wide PLC.
Yes.
Is this not Teacher Appreciation Month?
May.
And every teacher.
Yes, everyone should be, yes. Our teachers are amazing,
Yeah.
and they work and talk to each other across the district. It's amazing, so
All right.
we're very thankful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is item 5, which is for the board to go into closed session. We'll adjourn into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Opens Meeting Act. Government Code 551.071, 551.074, 551.129, which is consultation with legal counsel, including possible telephone consultation with legal counsel as necessary to address legal concerns, implications, and answer any legal questions regarding posted agenda items. Also pursuant to Government Code 551.074 to discuss personnel matters, including appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, or dismissal of an employee. And then we're looking at a discussion regarding the DAP principal at Sager. So we will go into closed session. It is now 7:36. I'll give the trustees about 5 minutes before we meet, and we're going to go right now. Got the time, Nancy? 7:36. Okay, we're all back. It is 8:12, so we're going to reconvene to open meeting. And we do have in front of us possible action on professional personnel, including appointment, employment, evaluation, assignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public employee, specifically possible action to select the DAEP principal at Sager.
Madam President, I move to select the DAEP principal at Sager as discussed behind closed doors.
Okay, I have a motion from Ms. Duncan. Do I hear a second? Second from Ms. Crittenden. Any further questions or comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Ms. Moreno.
Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Gutierrez, and Board of Trustees. We have Ms. Graber, who will be joining the Matador team from East Central ISD, where she was a transition program administrator at East Central High School. With Ms. Graber's 18 years of experience in education and her diverse background of working with extreme at-risk youth, she should prove to be an invaluable asset at the helm of Seguin's Discipline Alternative School. As a building leader, Ms. Graber aspires to cultivate a school culture conducive to learning and development. She seeks to foster positive behavior, student-faculty teamwork, and collaboration in the school environment. Please help me welcome Mrs. Amy Graber to the Matador family.
Welcome to the Matador family. I hope that we can talk to you in one-to-one sometime in the very near future. But we really appreciate you coming over here from East Central, and both Ms. Moreno here, this Ms. Moreno, and I have fond memories of that campus. So I think it's a really special place, and we're glad that you're here to help out those special students. Thank you.
We can tell you all the dungeon stories.
All right, next up is our consent agenda items. Be ye local states that the consent agenda shall include items of a routine and/or recurring nature grouped together under one action item. All such items shall be acted upon by one vote without separate discussion unless a board member requests that an item be withdrawn for individual consideration. The remaining items shall be adopted under a single motion and vote as applicable. Excuse me while I get a drink of water. So, this evening, we have the approval of board minutes of the public meeting July 19th, 2021, and regular meeting July 19th, 2021. The approval of tax collection reports for January 2021. The approval of proposed budget amendments and financial statements for December 2020. The approval of proposed budget amendments and financial statements for January 2021. Approval of investment report for the second quarter 2020 to 2021. Approval of donations received January 2021. Approval of district-wide vehicle maintenance parts and services, which is RFP 2101. The approval of district-wide plumbing systems maintenance equipment and parts and services, RFP 2103. Approval of district-wide facilities maintenance electrical equipment parts and services, RFP 2104. The first reading for consideration or approval of the Texas Association of School Boards, or TASB, Policy Update 116, affecting both legal and local policies. The information regarding the purchase of the TEACS classroom kits for Seguin ISD from Hands to Mind, Inc. through the 2013 Purchasing Co-op, and the Public Information Act requests for January 2021 through February 2021. Does anybody want to pull one of these for individual consideration or discussion? All right, if not, do I hear a motion for approval? Okay, Mr. Guerra, thank you. Do I hear a second? Second, Ms. Moreno, thank you. If there's no further discussion, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Moving on to our action items. First up, we have to consider some recommendation for term contracts, probationary contracts, and employment agreements for administrative personnel. Ms. Moreno, you're back on the hot seat. Mr. Hilbert, you're getting off easy today.
This one's always a good one. We're asking for consideration for the term contracts, probationary, and employment agreements for administrative personnel. So the exhibit has all of our one-year term professional contracts for your review, as well as one-year employment agreements.
All right, are there any questions? No. If not, do I hear a motion for approval? Okay, motion from Ms. Moreno to approve the contract renewals, employment agreements, and/or extensions for administrative personnel as recommended, and a second from Ms. Duncan, I believe. All right. Any further questions or comments for Mrs. Moreno, too? Not all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. And then last up is our personnel for professional employees in action.
Yes, ma'am. We ask that you recognize and acknowledge the new professional hires that we have brought on board. Mr. Timothy Gandu at Seguin High School. He is our new journalism teacher. He comes to us with 15 years of experience. He is already taken off running. He's doing a fabulous job. Heard wonderful things from Mr. Boo about him. We also have Julia Farrell. She's brand new, but she's coming to us. She's a librarian in her former life, and now she is a Spanish teacher at Barnes Middle School. And we also have Shelley Yater coming to Potlawn Elementary, 14 years of experience with dyslexia and reading interventionist experience. And of course, our beloved Kirsten, her resignation, effective on the 26th, as well as a teacher from Jefferson Elementary and a teacher from Seguin High School.
Ms. Duncan? What did you
might abstain from this.
You're going to abstain. We're all going to abstain. All right. Do I hear a motion to approve, to recognize and acknowledge the new professional hires for 2021 and for the resignations as listed? Do I hear a motion? Thank you, Ms. Crittenden. A second from Ms. Moreno. All in favor, raise your right hand. Can I raise my right hand and put my thumb down? And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to miss you, Ms. Legore.
I will miss everybody here too.
I know, but
I mean, I'm not dying.
I know you're not dying. And somebody great is going to be sitting right there
Exactly.
next board meeting.
And that really, really helps make this all much more calm.
I agree.
I'm excited for Seguin ISD that I'm leaving, which is a very weird place to be.
Yeah. But that position is in very good hands, Ms. Biddings. All right. So last up, item 9 is board comments and requests. Does anybody have any comments or requests today? No more birthday, no, okay. All right, so in that case, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I did want to say thank you for food service and anyone who helped out with distributing meals to our young folks. That was much appreciated, and thank you for stepping up and doing that. Thank you very much for everyone. And maintenance too for
Oh, yeah, definitely.
thank goodness we didn't have any more major damage.
Yeah, we're very fortunate compared to other school districts, very fortunate. Okay, Mr. Amador has moved to adjourn. Do I have a second? Mr. Jenkins? And we are adjourned at 8:20.